I popped onto Twitter this morning to have a look at things to make a video on for my YouTube channel. It's where I get a lot of my source from for taking the mickey out of Lefty's politics, etc. And then I remembered it's 23rd of April, it's St. George's Day. There's bound to be loads of tweets about St. George's Day. And what I've noticed being on Twitter for years now is that the national pride of being English and loving England has declined rapidly on Twitter because Twitter is infested by wealthy, middle-class, self-loathing bigots. These people hate their own people, their own country, their own culture, everything. There were a few people on Twitter celebrating St. George's Day, but the thread underneath most of these posts was disgusting. They were being labelled racists, xenophobes, etc. And these were the pro-EU accounts with the EU flag and the hashtag FBPE, which means fuck Brexit, pro-EU. And Ukrainian flag lot. And I feel quite sad for the English on this day because they're not allowed to celebrate St. George's Day. Wales, Scotland, Ireland, they're all allowed to celebrate their saints to the high heavens. They get pissed, they get rowdy, it's all a source of national pride. But England, not so much. And it is down to the wealthy socialist amongst them, the misguided students in universities, and of course wealthy celebrity migrants like Yasmin Ali Brown, who come to this country and slag us off, slag off the people, the culture, the demographics, everything for some reason. You see, England is so loathed by some migrants that they row over here in their thousands every day on dinghies. And yes, the politics in Wales and Scotland especially, the underlying basis for all that is hatred of the English and the British. Now, you will never hear a Welshman, an Irishman or a Scotsman slag off their patron saint or say anything bad about him. And yes, every saint in the UK is a man, by the way, so that'll change soon, though, thanks to the woke idiots online. It won't be long before one of the saints get changed into a female or a trans person or something. I don't know. You know how these people work. They have literally hijacked and poisoned everything they don't like about white British culture. So our patron saint must be due a woke makeover anytime soon. You can see it coming, folks. But when it comes to St. George, it's okay on Twitter. It's like open season to just rubbish the day and the saint himself, because he is simply associated with English. Dear me. So here's a tweet by Kevin Maguire on Twitter. Now, as you can see, he is a verified blue tick Twitter twat, so he can say what he wants and gets away with it. And he's one of these insufferable lefties who hates his own people and culture. It's all evident in his tweets if you can stomach going on there and reading what he does. So anyway, he tweeted this about St. George's Day, and it's pretty self-loathing, it's smug, and it's uncalled for, really. It really is uncalled for. Anyway, this is what he tweeted. Happy St. George's Day. England's patron saint was a migrant worker in what's now Turkey, so would be dumped by the UK Conservative government in Rwanda if he sought security and refuge in the country. Plastic patriots, reactionaries and racists waving flags must be proud. You see, this is what I'm talking about. There were loads of St. George was a Turkish migrant, he wasn't even English tweets on there. So days like today, where the English take national pride in themselves like every other country in the UK, it's an opportunity to dump on the English and just rip into them. And it's unnecessary, if you ask me. I'm all for free speech, etc. But you don't get it against the other Celtic nations or the Gaelic nations, Scottish, Wales or Ireland. You know, it's like blasphemy to rubbish the other saints. It's just not done. I haven't heard it said against the other nations, but the other nations do it freely against St. George. But I've lived in England now for nearly 20 years. Some of that was in barracks in England, Shrewsbury, Aldershot, and then as a civilian when I was in a prison service up to now. And though I can't compare it to Scotland as I haven't lived there, I can tell you now, England is a far better place to live than Wales. Yes, people know there's no love lost between me and my birth country. I was born in Wales, but I was made in Britain. Welsh society looked down on me because I had the misfortune to have been born into a very poor single parent family. I wasn't given opportunities as I have done or I would have done in England simply because of this fact. Welsh society is quite judgmental of the poor. And things got so desperate for me that I ended up joining the army just to save myself basically from a life of poverty and not amounting to anything. I was deeply scared of failure. I knew I would fail in life if I stayed in Wales in those conditions, but the army and the prison service and life in England made me a success. I am very happy now. Live in England. I have the best friends I have ever had in England. They are English. In fact, it was an Englishman who saved my life when I was at the lowest ebb a few years ago, and I owe this man everything. But England now is my home. I will continue to live here happily, and I will die and be buried here because I think England is just a great country. We have got the best capital city in the world in London. And yes, lefties, the English actually do have a culture, and they have given so much to the world which is being ignored today, shamefully, due to this anti-English hate. And when these Scottish and Welsh nationalists call you Little Englanders and call this lovely land Little England, it's all through jealousy. It's you have what they don't, and they just wish they had it. The ability to look at the English people, the English culture, with an open mind. Believe you me, folks, there is nothing little about England. She is a great country, and I am proud to live here on their land and amongst them, and count some of them as the best friends I've ever had. So to that end, I want to tell all my English subscribers and viewers, whoever you are, happy St. George's Day, celebrate it, get pissed, and be proud of who you are. Because if everyone else in the UK can do it, why can't you? Just do it. Sod the hateful lefties on social media and everywhere else, because you have at least one Welshman here who is proud to be with you here on this blessed plot, this earth, this realm, this England. So happy St. George's Day, and until my next video, Roger Trout.